Atheist University YouTube series on inaccessism. Welcome to our YouTube channel. See no God, speak no God, hear no God. Inaccessism is a viewpoint or principle that considers that a God is not accessible to man, and that therefore, whether or not a God exists, it is as if he does not, since neither can communicate with the other. This impossibility to communicate nullifies ipso facto the authority of any religion in matters of the divine. This YouTube series is written by Nancy Phillips. I am Nancy's agent in the USA, and I have been appointed your host for this program. Our goal. Our purpose is to inform all persons willing and dedicated to understanding the philosophical position of atheism in comparison to religious philosophies, and most importantly, to scriptural religious philosophies. We bring a new approach and a new definition to atheism. This is our video number 3. Here are our 3 little mascots: see no God, speak no God, hear no God. Our subject today is the attributes of God. At the beginning of every new video, we will recapitulate the elements of our red list, the ones we have demonstrated that religion has claimed to know but does not. We will post them on a scroll like this one, sometimes with yellow letters when red does not stand out enough. For example, religion conditions its believers, and religion has claims. The attributes of God. So my religious friends are here to help me understand and connect with their God, says Nancy Phillips. As you know, my friends, I can't see God and others can't either. So why is that? God has certain properties and attributes, one of which is that he is invisible, says one of my friends. He would be too frightening, says another. Of course, the monster under my bed and in the closet, I whisper. Well, now I understand why I can't see him. So I don't need glasses after all. What else do you know about him? What other attributes does he have? And has anybody ever seen him? And if I can't see him, how can I interact with him? An attribute is a quality or characteristic. You will find about 13 to 20 attributes for the God of Scriptures, depending on which scriptures you consult online. Remember that attributes are listed as one of our most important claims to analyze in our chart from video number 2. Here are some attributes that we find essential. God is invisible, no one can see him. God is immaterial. He has no mass, no energy, no matter. God is undetectable. He can't be found. Please notice that we have started our red list, things that religion cannot know. God is omnipotent. He is all-powerful. God is omnibenevolent. He is all-loving. God is omniscient. He is all-knowing. And finally, for what we need, God is omnipresent. He is always everywhere. God is immutable. He is immortal. So what you're saying is that he is invisible, undetectable, immaterial, immutable, eternal, and thus we can't see him. So how does anybody know what he looks like? Does anybody know? And now I really need my glasses. Not so fast, Nancy. He does not show himself. He would be too frightening. But he has shown manifestations of himself, such as a burning bush to a man called Moses. All we have to go by are representations of his alleged son, Jesus, for whom there is no historically known portrait, I say. Here is an ancient depiction of Jesus the Christ. Or perhaps, is this God? Or could this be God? It is frustrating to start a study of God with the first element of our red list. We can't see God. Religion does not know what its God looks like. At least I know I have no visual impairment. So our red list continues. Religion conditions its believers, and religion cannot see its God, nor can we. This reminds me of the invisible he monster under the bed. And we have seen that religion cannot prove the existence of messengers of God called angels. Religion claims that God sends messengers called angels, and that these are spiritual beings, not natural beings. But if they are supernatural, why do they need wings to fly? And why can we not see them either? Science has no evidence of such creatures. Our list now says that messengers of God, called angels, do not exist. Because this is not a treatise on theology, we will not waste time on yet another analysis of God's attributes one by one. Why? Because it is easy to demonstrate that they are mutually exclusive and thus absurd when considered together, which they must be, because religion claims that God is all of these. Here is where the rubber meets the road. Religion claims that God is omnibenevolent, He is all-loving, He is omnipotent, He is all-powerful, and God is omniscient, He knows everything. Well, people suffer and die every minute of every day from curable diseases. If God is omnibenevolent, He should cure them every day if He knew that they are ill, but He does not. He obviously does not know they are ill, therefore God is not omniscient. Conclusion. Thus God cannot be omniscient and omnibenevolent at the same time. Try to wrap your head around that. It's not that difficult. If God is omniscient, He must know that some are ill. This means that He either refuses to heal them or to hear their prayers. Therefore, He is not omnibenevolent. God is not omnibenevolent. But if God hears their prayers and wants to heal them, then He is not omnipotent, because He does not have the power to do so, or He would, etc. This conclusion is inevitable. We add, God is not omnipotent to our list. We also add, God cannot be omnibenevolent and omnipotent at the same time, and perhaps neither one. And we add that God is not omnipotent either. We will discover much more as we progress. Many other studies, see the internet, have been made on this subject, demonstrating that the attributes of God, as presented by the Scriptures, are incompatible with each other. Religion claims to know God, but this is evidence that religion does not know its God. The only other explanation is that the scribes who wrote the Scriptures misinterpreted God's word, miscopied it, or that God misspoke. But is that possible? My question still remains. Can I speak and communicate with this God? My friends say yes through a process called prayer, which will be our next subject of analysis and surprises galore. At first glance, prayer seems to be an inextricable web of trees of yet another forest. Here again, a step back is necessary and enlightening. It starts with the sorting and grouping of the categories of elements involved. The big picture this gives is incredibly simple and clear, but let's have a little fun with it first. Let's clear the bushes and trees a little bit. Our in-depth study will come in our next video, but it will be all the easier when we have done this prerequisite clearing. Prayer involves purpose and paraphernalia, or equipment. We can see a general pattern in every religion or spiritual group. Three things come to mind. The first is the reason for prayer. Get what we want or need and give thanks for it. Example, thanks for saving my life. Secondly, the equipment, which includes the setting necessary to get what we want. A prayer utensil, amulet, or talisman. And thirdly, the procedure by which to get what we want. Magic positions and procedures. Touching the magic wall procedure. The list of human folly is never ending. That is why there is no point in studying the magic stone, the magic images, the magic positions, the magic dances, the magic words, the magic places, the magic songs, and all of the other insanities that accompany this so-called praying. Here is a horrifying one, the human blood sacrifice. The horrifying consequence of the study of prayer is that God is inevitably biased, as we shall see in video number 4. It is an inevitable attribute of this God that religion does not recognize for obvious reasons. We are starting a series of deconditioning exercises for our religious friends. Each new video will contain a short deconditioning exercise as an ongoing therapy. Spirits are invisible. Repeat 5 times a day for 3 months or until deconditioned. Despite a little satire, it is of excellent remedy. Do take it seriously, though we are not medical doctors. Spirits and ghosts do not exist. Repeat 5 times a day for 3 months or until deconditioned. Psychiatrists have better knowledge and remedies than we, and are licensed practitioners. Call on them if you deem it necessary as symptoms persist. Spirits and ghosts do not exist. Repeat 5 times a day for 3 months or until deconditioned. This is the end of our video number 3. Nancy Phillips's books are available at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and Abe Books. She demonstrates the principle of inaccessism in 4 publications. First book is entitled So You Have an Invisible Friend. It exists in a French version, Donc vous avez un ami invisible. The Book of Atheomes is the companion book of this textbook. It contains sound bites of the philosophy of atheism and of the principle of inaccessism. The second textbook is titled So You Have an Invisible Fear. It also exists in a French version titled Donc vous avez une peur invisible. The second but not least of the companion books is the Book of Deus Desum. It is the result of a series of studies in geology, DNA genetics, chemistry, mathematics, physics, and that shows that there is no evidence, no trace of a universal deity on our planet or in our immediate universe. Please proceed to our next video number 4 on the subject of prayer that science prove does not work.